Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, everyone. So today we are going to discuss our fifth material, about creative writing short story. So let's get started. All. Pa? Okay, first of all, I'd like to apologize, since the Canva automatically cropped, this slide, so it becomes unclear, and it seems unclear as well to me. So in this slide or on this slide, there are two learning objectives that we are going to do on this meeting, The first one is student have to be able to understand concept, purpose, element, and example of short story, yeah, precisely through discovery activities. So on this occasion, on this meeting, you are going to, provided by an understanding toward a concept, a purpose, element, and the example as well of the short story through discovery activities in which you are going to explore or discover the material by yourself, with, of course, with the guidance, of your lecturer. It was me and it is me. Okay, so the second one, students are to have to be able, to conceptualize concept, purpose, element, and example of a short story accurately and precisely through discovery activities. So there are two learning objectives on this meeting. For material about creative writing short story as one of the types of creative writing. Okay, but don't worry, I will provide you with the clear, with a clear atau with a, what is it, the whole PPT of this material, So I will enclose it along with this one. Okay, guys, as we discussed before, there are concept and purpose of a short story. So point 1 until 3 is the concept or are the concepts of short story. Meanwhile, the fourth one is the purpose of a short story. Okay, so on this slide, you are going to introduce two elements of writing short story. As we discussed before, short story has its own elements, of writing the short story or a short story itself. So, the first one, a short story has to illustrate, or indicate a place, the main theme in the middle of the page, and the second one, add words you associate with this theme, and the third one, jot down possible events that can dramatize your theme. So these three first point, atau tiga poin pertama ini adalah elements in terms or in the matter of theme, plot, and also the events or sequence of a story. As we know, short story must include a theme that will associate with the title. And then the second one, it reflects to the theme, that also relates to its story being described or being explained. And the last one and the third one, jot down possible event that can dramatize your theme. As we know, in a story, there is a sequence of a story, a plot, specifically that will give you an illustration, that will give you an explanation, and also an image or a view of the story, and then what is it, the place, let's say, and the setting of a short story itself. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Okay, after you wrote atau what is it, created, for example, a short story in terms of its theme, title, story, plot, setting, and also the, what is it, the time, and then you have to note down information about the characters. As we know, characters in a short story is essential For what? Because characters is the main, yeah, or the actor of a story. So it is important. So on this fourth point, yeah, you have to note down information about the characters. You have to think about who the characters are. Yeah, for example, related to their ages, job, hobbies, families, and friends as well. And the fifth one, produce a list of the emotion of or for all parties. Don't forget, in a character, there is always a characterization, yeah. So, characterization meaning adjective or habit, personality of the character written or included on a short story itself. Yeah, so this emotion can vary at different times, and so make sure to include the whole range. Yeah, and the last one, move on to action and consequences for the character. So the character must be built, yeah, or must be explained, must be, what is it, described in naturally in order to live, yeah, to live up the character itself. So the character must be, or what is it, must be taking an action, yeah, and a consequence for the characters themselves. Because why? You have to write down all the things your characters may do in response to the situation they are in atau they are in, yeah, and the emotion this action provoke. As we know, the characters will relate with its theme. The characters will relate with its story, with its plot, and included, or was it, and happen and occurred in a setting or specific or particular place. So yeah, move on action and consequence for the characters are crucial and needed. So guys, I have something for you, yeah, as an example of short story. Yeah, so this one, there is a short story, theme, love, romance, tragedy, and drama. So actually, the story, the example of a short story, has four themes all together. Yeah, the first one is love, romance, tragedy, and drama. It's a bit complicated, you know. Yes, I think if there is a theme about love, it will relate or interrelated with the romance theme, and also it also relates with a tragedy and drama as well. So there are four themes incorporated of this short story, and the title, a man's betrayal through a secret love affair. Yeah, so this kind of title is commonly happen in kind of romance, love, tragedy, drama. Ya, ini sepertinya sudah common dan juga familiar bagi kita-kita semua yang biasa nonton sinetron ya. Tentang apa nih? A man betrayal through a secret love affair. Okay, so we have to pay attention to the story, to the, what is it, to the characters, plot, setting, and also the consequences written by the author. Okay, let's move on to the another slide. For the example about a short story entitled "A Man Betrayal Through Love Affair," yeah, there are points that has been or have been written by the author herself atau himself, yeah, because we don't know the exact gender of the author, yeah. Okay, the first one is what two big themes arise as possibility as a result of a betrayal. So the first thing ya atau centang pertama ini, it means to the first point ya. What two big themes, sorry, arise as possibility as a result of a betrayal. In a theme of romance, love, tragedy, and drama, a betrayal always happen. So the author conceptualized a betrayal as a possibility that will arise within the theme. Yeah. And the second thing atau second point, how was the main character betrayed? So An affair, a lie, a lack of trust or love are actually mostly happened in a kind of romance, love, tragedy, and a betrayal thing or topic of a short story. Yeah. So the author intended to was it to illustrate, to describe this thing as the second point of the story. Yeah. With whom? Now, work colleague, koleha, yeah, friend, best friend, former lover, former supposed relative, and so on. Yeah. So they are the characters that are going to be described within the story. Yeah. And how long indicated the period of the story. It can be weeks, months, or even years. Yeah. Where they where did they meet, yeah, or where did they meet is actually relates to a plot setting and a specific or particular place of the characters. Was it took place atau took conversation or maybe took an action, yeah, his place, her place, office, hotel, park, or abroad, and so on. Yeah, is his relationship out of bounds? Perhaps she's too young, a student or work koleha, ya. Or his doctor or therapist, bisa jadi dokternya atau psikiaternya atau terapisnya. Nah, ini adalah the relation among characters within a story. And the last one, main character feelings here are related to a characterization of the character. So, if there is a character, it has to be included, yeah, it has to be described or enclosed with the characterization. Don't forget, and you have to note that, yeah, whenever you are going to write a story or whenever you are going to describe a character, it should be enclosed and along with its characterization, gitu ya. Okay, let's move on to another slide. Still on the discussion toward a story, an example of short story entitled A Man Betrayal Through Love Affair. So, betrayal feelings still relate or included to a characterization of the character of or a character. And then feelings of third person in the three angels still related to the characterization of the characters within the story. Action. Okay, action is actually similar to a characterization, but definitely it more depend or relates to the plot or the sequence of the story. Yeah, because it illustrate the story is going on. Yeah, the story is will be about or will be about. Yeah. Okay, the last one, betrayed person action is still related to the plot. It what is it, it enrich the plot, it enrich or it will illustrate the stories going on and the plot going on or the consequences or the chronological order or of the story will be about, gitu ya. Okay. Okay, so for your exercise for this fifth meeting, you are going to analyze a short story entitled A Journey to Confession. Yeah. And the theme is mystery. Frankly speaking, mystery is one of my favorite genre of story. Jadi misteri adalah salah satu genre favorit saya dalam sebuah cerita ya. So you have to analyze the short story according or by following the instruction or the direction that will be explained by me on the next slide. Okay, by the way, the story itself will be attached ya along with the PPT on GCR. Yeah, the story is about 3 pages long if I'm not mistaken. So it will have around 1000 words if I'm not mistaken. And also it will be about a story that will knock your heart out, yeah, because the story itself is one of my favorite stories ever. Yeah, you can check it out by yourself. Okay, next move on to the another slide. Okay, so this is the exact instruction or direction for the fifth meeting exercise. Yeah. So first of all, you have to read the story entitled A Journey to Confession, and then you have to answer this following question according to your understanding toward the concept, purpose, and elements of short story. So we have discussed a little bit about the brief explanation or brief summary of the story, yeah, entitled A Journey to Confession. Is about a mystery story since the theme said it so. So it will be a mystery story. Okay, the first question will be about, did the story reflect its theme? Why and how? Elaborate your writing in at least 100 words. Okay, so you have to analyze did the story elaborated or discussed by the author reflects the theme itself about the mystery. Yeah, if you said yes, why? And if you said no, how? Yeah, so you have to elaborate your writing in at least 100 words. And the second one, did the story reflect or reflects, yeah, betul ya, its title? Why and how? Elaborate your writing in at least 100 words. Okay, so after you analyze the story within the theme, yeah, and you have to then move further whether the story reflect the title. Yeah, elaborate your answer by emphasizing why it so and how it happened, yeah, on your writing in at least 100 words. And the third one, how were the plot and action described, yeah, were those described in a chronological order and sequence of the story. Why and how? Elaborate your writing in at least 100 words. Okay, so move on to the plot and the action described. So you have to take your time to write, yeah, to analyze whether the story, yeah, the plot and the action described is meets or adjusts or was it related or interrelated with the order, because we know, as we know, yeah, a story must be described or narrated, for example, in a chronological order and sequence of the story, for example, started from the orientation, as in the narrative story opening, ya, kalau short story. And the second one will be about the conflict arise, the conflict arise, and the action happen, the solution maybe composed, and then the last one enclosed or concluded by the reorientation as a summary of the story. Now you have to analyze the story and then you have to elaborate your writing in at least 100 words. Okay, the fourth one or question number 4, how was or were the characters described and portrayed in terms of its bound, relation, and characterization. As we discussed on the very first meeting, yeah, you already created and made a mind map story, if I'm not mistaken. So the fourth question is in relation to the mind mapping story, in which the character must be portrayed or must be described along with its the characterization, or sorry, I mean the character must be described and portrayed along with its the characterization, ya. Jadi harus dideskripsikan sesuai dengan personality-nya dan juga habit-nya. Seperti itu ya. So whether the characters within the story bound or relate to each other, ya, apakah among those character within a story itu saling berkaitan atau tidak, ya. So you have to answer and analyze why it's so and how it happened, ya, through your writing in 100 words at least. Okay, the last one is the most crucial one, I think, yeah, because it will sum up your thoughts and your judgment towards the story. So On the last question or fifth question, you have to write your overall thoughts and judgment toward the story in 100 words gitu ya. So you have to be able to what is it to elaborate your final thought toward the story, whether the story is amazing in terms of its story, its plot, or maybe the story seems unclear because I think the author did not mention the characterization clearly. Even the characters were there, but the characterization seems unclear to me. Bisa seperti itu ya. Or maybe the plot is so-so, or the plot might be average because I think the plot must be followed a chronological order. Yeah, the theme is a mystery. Then the plot or the orientation of the story must be open with a mystery story. Let's say seperti itu ya. Or maybe the orientation or the conclusion of the story must be enclosed or closed by a mystery action or a mystery story. It might be possible. It's actually depends on your judgment and thoughts, because as we know, we as a people, yes, as a person specifically, has a various or variety of thought and judgment. So it will depend on your judgment and thoughts toward the story that we are going to describe, or the story that we been discuss gitu ya. Okay, so it depends on your thoughts and judgment, because your thoughts, your judgment are matters, guys. Itu karena penting and valuable for your own knowledge toward the understanding about the concept, purpose, and element of short story. Okay, that's all, guys. Yeah, if you have any question related to this exercise, you can reach me directly through WhatsApp. Okay, best of luck. Okay, guys, that's all for our fifth meeting about short story. Let's close this meeting ya by reciting hamdalah. Alhamdulillahirobbilalamin. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you so much all. See you next week and see you around.